Hi, I'm Miss Lloyd from the Robinson Lloyd Resiliency Group. Today's topic would be mental health in the classroom. I have to share this story of the first time I decided to address this topic, which is really close to home. Really passionate about advocating for persons with mental health challenges. And I was invited to speak to a group of prisoners, and the question that I asked was, how many of you knowingly having a mental health challenge would seek professional help? Of the 100 prisoners in attendance, 3 men raised their hands. I was really in for a surprise that day based on what they had to say. And the theme of their message was this: they got tired of trying to cope with the depression, the anxiety, the paranoid thoughts. They got tired of not only experiencing and dealing with that alone, but also putting their families through a lot of emotional, physical, a lot of distress. And that was the heart of why they decided to get help. It wasn't just the cost to them personally, but it was recognizing the cost to their loved ones. And that was where the decision to pivot and change came about. Today, we're not looking at mental health in the prison system, rather, translating those ideas to mental health in the classroom, mental health in the school building. One of the most rewarding times of my career working in the school systems, providing our specialized Resilient Stars program and mass coaching program, which is students just walking up to me and saying, Miss Lloyd, I have anger and I want to join your program to work on this. And of course, that's just like, wow, we think, children, we assume we have these myths floating about that children don't have stress. Why should they be stressed? They don't have to focus on, worry about paying bills. But they do experience their own worry, the worry of daily life experience, dealing with bullying, dealing with witnessing things at home that they cannot discuss, and they are not encouraged to discuss these things. We don't probe with our program. We teach skills, right? And today we're going to take a look at just where the whole idea of psychology, where it evolved, where it grew from. And we're going to share beneficial tips, of course, that are adapted from the Resilient Stars program. I'm going to switch now to the actual presentation. So just bear with me as I pull it up. I'm just gonna get in here to the links. Just one more quick second. You see, I'm out. I haven't made videos in a while. All of this could have been ready, but it's coming up now. Just have to go to presentations. Here we go. Mental health in the classroom. Wonderful. I'm going to share, show all windows. Okay. There we go. Mental health in the classroom. Now to share. Wonderful. And we're up. All right, so we'd be looking at the roots of psychology, a definition of mental health, understanding the brain, just a snapshot, and a case study and application of the Resilient Stars program, skills to increase integration as well as empowerment. Okay, so I'm going to start this slide. the root of psychology is all about the soul, right? To write of the history of psychology is to write of the history of the soul by Otto Rank. And this was in the Journal of Religion and Health, volume 35, number 3. Otto Rank was actually a student of Sigmund Freud, and he believed a lot in incorporating or understanding at least the role of spirituality. And it was very interesting to me to when I learned that it was the study of the soul, but the scientists at the time, the behavioral scientists, they were like, well, how can we measure their soul? How can we understand it? And you know, different schools and different sorts of psychology came about. But at the core, when we think of the soul and what gives the soul peace, right, is say the essence of love, right? As a Christian practitioner, we know that God is love, right? And when we think about love and we feel loved and we feel whole and we recognize that we are from a tribe, we have even more strength and even more power. And for those of us who've experienced disruptions in that, it could lead to viewing experiences in a not too healthy way. And that's where we learn or we teach children how to develop their own narrative, their own empowerment. How can you change this story to being one of a superhero, where you transform the trauma, the tragedy, the trials, and you emerge stronger and better and more powerful and more capable of connecting to others, loving others, and having strong relationships to the self, others, as well as to the community. The study of the soul. Mental health is well-being. It focuses on the well-being, emotional well-being, psychological well-being, social well-being. Again, integrating all of the aspects of ourselves. And it does not mean that if someone is struggling with a mental health challenge, that they cannot experience having mental health, or building or rebuilding and teaching their minds new ways of responding to challenges. Okay. Now we look at a snapshot of the brain, and I am just absolutely in love. You guys probably remember me just going on about Siegel and Bryson. Really awesome book, focusing on the right brain and the left brain. The left brain, logic, right brain, emotion. However, from my understanding of what Siegel and Bryson 2012 shared, we really want to focus on integrating those brains, not remaining so left brain and that we're rigid, or jumping from very rigid to being swept by emotions, to being very rigid, to being swept by emotions. And the Resilient Stars program and our math coaching program really focuses on that integration. How can we connect logic and emotion where they are feeding each other, and we could buy just a window of opportunity to respond appropriately, even in the most frustrating situations, the situations that make us want to, to saying, okay, let me walk away from this. Let me go for a walk. Let me breathe. Let me write. Let me find some other way of getting what's in my head out onto paper and not doing any harm to anyone else. Okay, so now we're going to look at the case study. We're focusing on online classrooms. This is the pandemic era that we're in, coming out of, hopefully very soon. Angeline does not like putting her camera in the class, in class as students take pictures, and she doesn't think she's presentable enough for that. Academically, she's a high B average student. She gets kicked. It's not supposed to be. She gets kicked out upon the second warning to turn her camera on and to show her face. She complains that she does her work, gets good grades, and does not deserve to be kicked out. What are the emotions expressed by Angeline? Please feel free to leave your comments in the YouTube link below. We leave comments on. how can Angeline rethink her situation, right? Meaning, can she view her teacher kicking her out of the classroom in a different way, in a more positive and realistic way, right? The teacher is not trying to show her that she hates her, right? She is trying to show her that discipline, respect for classroom rules and boundaries are an important part of getting along with others, right? So we need to rethink or reframe in cognitive behavioral therapy. That's called reframing the situation, where we're perceiving it from a very negative way. And we could try to practice empathy or shifting our perspective to ask, I wonder how the other person might be perceiving my not turning my camera on, particularly if I never disclose to them how I feel about the camera in the first place. Okay, and one of the things that we would do with students like Angeline would be the Resilient Stars brainstorming, right? And they come up with as many solutions to their situations as possible. And then they weigh all of the pros, the good consequences, then all of the cons, the bad consequences connected to the solution they presented. Okay, so we state the situation, right? In your own words, state the situation that was just discussed, and then state any solution at all. Angeline should drop out of the school, go to another school where they don't care if the camera's on and off, right? That could be a possible solution. Then we weigh all of the good consequences from that, all of the bad consequences, and if there are more bad consequences than good ones, we simply find another solution. Okay, now that brings us to the end of today's mental health presentation. We looked at the root of psychology, we defined mental health, we understood the brain in a snapshot, and we looked at how the Resilient Stars program is actually applied to help students with just managing their daily life experiences. What's really awesome about our program is that should we recognize that a child needs higher levels of care, we do speak to their parents and advocates on their behalf and connect them to our referral partners. Okay, if you'd like to be a referral partner, please connect with us. If you'd like to witness a demo of our programs for your school for the new school term, please send us an email at tloyd@rlrgresilientstars.com. We look forward to connecting with you and sharing this really, really awesome program that we've had, because we believe that we have the solutions to empower students, proven solutions to empower students. Until next time, bye for now. I'm going to stop the share and the recording. Bye.